someone's called him off the street and said, "Oh, come and join our team" or something. But you've got probably, arguably, the most exciting young footballer in the country at the moment. I think people would pay money to a lot of people to go and see him play. He's majestic, majestic footballer.
He is a majestic football. And he scores goals. It's not like it's
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
great
I,
footballer.
yeah, I would really be disappointed if it doesn't Ballon award for this year. The Ballon
So you're
d'Or.
fading out a bit. You're
Uh,
fading out a bit, cuz. I
yeah, I
think
think yeah, I
I
think
can't hear you.
yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can, and you were a
Yeah,
little bit.
I
Picture
think my
wasn't quite right, but I can hear you now. Yeah.
yeah, I was talking about the Ballon d'Or award.
Oh
Um,
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I'll be surprised if it doesn't, if it doesn't win it. I'll be really surprised because, he's really earned it.
He has. Yeah.
He has
I mean,
really earned
I don't know how they. I don't know. We don't know how they make the final selection, do we?
no,
But
no, do it.
he
No.
would be whoever beats him. If it's a fair result, then whoever beats him is going to be a hell of a footballer to beat
Yeah,
what Carl Palmer's done. And it's very early in the season still, and
I
he's
know.
amassing a good number of goals already. So you just think, what will his value be if he carries on like this?
Yeah,
What will his value be in a year or two's time? And he's
yeah,
a sort of guy who could well end up where they do end up very often, and that's in Spain, Barcelona, Real Madrid, or possibly Italy when you've got Juventus and Roma, stuff like that.
yeah.
Because they, together with the Premier League, are the top three leagues undoubtedly. But I could see Palmer ending up in Madrid or Barcelona because
Barcelona, yeah.
he'll command a fee of it'd be astronomical
It
because
would be.
he's young, he's got all being well years ahead of him,
Yeah,
and
yes.
he's got this. You can build a team around him. He can be
Yeah,
the sort of the real engine. He can be the creator. He can
yeah.
be the scorer. There's not much he doesn't do. I
I
bet if they
know.
put him in goal, he'd be brilliant as well. He's just that sort of guy, isn't he? He can do the lot.
Yeah,
Or
he's
he could become the
all
manager
around
as well,
brilliant.
player manager, everything. He's
Yeah.
just so good. Can't praise
It,
him enough.
no,
So
I
let's
know.
hope he keeps injury free, and because other opponents will probably want to kick him up in the air, like does happen to good
Yeah,
players. But let's hope he stays injury free and fulfills his obvious potential as a
yeah.
footballer.
I reckon the manager would be resting him on some games that and that. Do you know what I mean? And so crucial.
Mhm.
It probably rest him and then play him on
Yeah,
games that are crucial, just
yeah,
to make that he doesn't pick up an injury that would, that isn't.
absolutely.
Yeah. Now the next one is Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Your
so
man, isn't he? Your
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. I don't. I'm not a fan of him, to be honest. I'm not a
No,
great
but I
fan.
mean, he's your team's manager, isn't he?
I
That's what I
know,
mean.
I know. Yeah, Manchester United.
Mm,
But I'm not a fan of his coaching style. Um, Now I don't know how much degree that contributes to the success of the players, but he's the manager at the end of the day, and the
mm.
team is doing well. So I hear he's been given a two match ultimatum. So if it
Yeah,
doesn't go well in two matches, I think it'll be gone. That would I can't wait to see the back of him. He needs to go somewhere where his style of football is would be appreciated. But Manchester United, I don't think he fits in the Premier League. Um,
no.
I might be being too critical of him, but it doesn't. His style of managerial, his managerial skills they're not suited for the Premier League.
Mm.
Premier League is a different ball game. It's a different ball game. It's totally different from any style of football that you could find it anywhere in Europe, because Europe's the hallmark for that. But he's not. I think if he goes to America or maybe or maybe Spain, I think Spain would it'd find it. But anyway,
What do you
so
think? What do you think is his style of football? You say you don't like it, but how
I
would
don't
you define it?
I don't like his style of football. Now I don't think now I'm cautious when I say this, but I don't think he's buying the right players, because it's all part of the package, isn't it? Knowing who to buy, and then knowing who to field. I don't think he's doing very well in that aspect. He's not buying the right. All right, so the last game, we had an unfortunate event where Bruno was sent off with a red card. All right, so but still, he's not fielding. He's not fielding the right players. He's not buying the right players. I mean,
Does he have control of? Does he have control of who they buy though? Nowadays, most teams have a director of football or whatever else they call them, and I think increasingly managers are being part of that process, because it's only right that a manager has some say in who comes to the club. But I suspect it's not just Eric Ten Hag's decision, if he's
yeah,
got any say in it at all. So I wouldn't be sure about that. I know they've spent quite a lot of money, and it doesn't seem to be showing good on the pitch, let's face it. But I'm not even sure what his style of football is. I mean, it's difficult with Manchester United, because they are this huge, great club, possibly the most famous in the world, with fans all over the world, really. I mean, as lots of clubs do, but and fans all over the country. They won't necessarily be in or near Manchester because they've got this massive following, and you just get the feeling at the moment it's just not working for them. Incidentally, the red card, which I didn't think at the time was a red card, it has been rescinded. Did you see
yeah,
that? They've
yeah.
taken that away, so he won't be banned from the next three games. But then Manchester United lost the benefit of him on the pitch. So this is where even overturning a red card decision doesn't make up for what was taken away. I mean, I think you would get rid of him, Ten Hag, now, wouldn't you? And if that's true, who would you put? Who would you want him to replace him? Who would you want?
Uh, you're gonna like this. Gareth Southgate.
I believe you as well. I think you would go for Gareth. I mean, I
I
think
would.
he has been mentioned in
That's been mentioned.
in some
Yeah.
circles, but I don't think that would be the answer. But do you really mean that, or are you joking?
I'm not joking, because you know what? I think result counts, right? So, all right. So Gareth Southgate is kind of similar to Eric Ten Hag in a way, because he's sentimental. And
Mm,
so is Ten Hag as well. Ten Hag is very sentimental, because they've kept Rashford there at the club. They've not sold him. And he didn't like losing, he didn't want to lose Jaden. Um,
mm,
yeah, so he didn't want to lose him. But and all right, you say managers might have very little influence over the buying and selling of players, which might be true.
mm.
You can also assert your influence by not fielding the player that they bought.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't agree with this buy-in, right? You make your statement there. You say, you know what, I'm going to bench him, and then they'd
Mm,
be forced to sell him then, because he's not, he's just sat on the bench. You bought him, he's sat on the bench, and you're paying him. So in a way, I think it's very sentimental. And I know Gareth Southgate is as well, because when you look at the last Euros, um, he wasn't fielding the players that he was supposed to be fielding, i.e., Paul Palmer. He
mm.
wasn't he wasn't starting with him, and I don't know why. I don't know why he wasn't starting with him. This is an international match. It's a team football. Why are you giving preference to certain players?
Mm.
Why? I don't get it, you know. So he doesn't wear that kind of influence. But I still feel that he sort of knows how to get results.